Hi, my name is Raymond Harlow, and I'm here with a very special guest, Vishnu Doerga, and we are both here in Houston, Texas. I flew in from Toronto, Canada, and Vishnu came in. Although he travels around the world, he just came in from Georgetown, Guyana. And tell me, what brings you here, Vishnu?
Well, I'm here at the Offshore Technology Conference. We're part of a larger delegation of about 30 companies from Guyana. We are also supported by GoInvest, which is the investment agency in Guyana. And as your viewers may know, there have been a string of finds by Exxon in Guyana, oil finds, and the estimates are now in excess of 5.5 billion barrels.
Wow.
The vessel you see behind us here
Yes.
is actually in the final production phases in Singapore, and we're expecting it in Guyana in the third quarter. Hopefully we're lucky in Guyana, we actually have production by the end of the year, if not the beginning of 2020.
Okay.
And that's really going to change the fortunes of Guyana.
Right. I was just sitting in on the Canadian forum, and I told one of the speakers, I'm from Guyana, and he just brightened up. He's like, he said, come over here.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you guys going to do with all that oil? And there's no housing, there's no infrastructure to maintain it. And this is something that it's your expertise in developing local assets. Tell me more about Action Coach and what you do.
Well, 5 years ago, before oil, we started off in November 2014. We saw the need for human development. We saw that the level of productivity is very, very low in Guyana. And given that I've been running my own businesses now for 19 years and very successful, I thought, why don't we scale this up? Why don't we offer this to other companies? We then, I'm going to make sure that that you get a copy of the Who's Who.
Yes, the Who's Who of Guyana.
Yeah. What we did is we started off with Action Coach, just business coaching and training. But we've expanded now to an entire portfolio that includes a lot of other than coaching, also training, business development. We engage in business-to-business missions to Guyana as well. We help companies get set up in Guyana because we need a higher level of capital investment. We need more jobs being created. We need taxes being paid. So the faster we can get this economy turning around, the better it is for all Guyanese. And it's been, as I was mentioning, this was supposed to be like a retirement thing for me, just helping a few companies here and there, but it's been turned out into something that's much bigger than I ever expected.
The baby grew into a monster. It's a good thing. Now you have how many staff?
Yeah, we're up to 15 now. So
15
we
staff.
Have 3 other coaches, trainers, support. So they're really, we are the team behind a lot of teams in Guyana. So.
Right.
And being here gives us all of us an opportunity to see the scale of what the offshore industry is all about, the level of skills that are needed, the level of technology that's employed, and for us to also decide where do we want to focus on.
Okay.
How do we focus? How do we deliver?
So this is the 50th anniversary of OTC, and you're telling me this is the first time Guyana is here.
Yeah, officially represented. I think over the years we would have had delegates come on their own, but this is the first time. I'm hoping you're going to get some shots of the booth as well.
Right.
It's a fairly large booth that we're able to interact with anyone who's interested in Guyana to really make sure that these connections that have to be made very early on get made now.
Right.
Production starts next year. And
yes.
We need to understand what all of this means for us, how our country is going to change, the level of infrastructure that you mentioned, what do we need to put in place there, our education, our healthcare. So there's so much that we need to really understand first of all and decide how we're going to be investing the returns from the oil and gas industry.
Amazing. Any last words?
Well, for the Guyanese population that is living out of Guyana, would be a good opportunity for you to take a look at what's happening in Guyana. The Who's Who is a good resource. There are many other resources as well. You can reach out to us as well. We deal with that on a regular basis, giving information on what's possible. And if you own property still in Guyana, that's gonna be, the value is gonna keep going up on that. Take a look at how you want it to be managed. Some people are just selling it out now. Some people are investing and upgrading the level. If you're anywhere on the East Bank or the East Coast closer to Georgetown, those values are going to go up in the coming years as well. And I've seen people looking at is Guyana possibly a place to maybe retire. I think that's going to be, it is happening, and I think that's just going to accelerate. And also people want to invest, real estate is not the bad area to invest in Guyana. Agriculture, I think we have to make sure we keep that very much alive, because it's one of the things we're naturally blessed with.
Right.
And it will be there after oil, so we have to make sure that we don't let that slip. But I'm happy with the interest in Guyana. It's a very good time to be Guyanese.
Yes, it's a very good time to be Guyanese.
And to make sure that we are part of the transformation of the country.
Yes, experts that are familiar with what's happening, I literally just watch them raise their eyes and open their eyes and raise their eyebrow like, oh my God. Somebody said, I was just speaking to a guy just now, and he's like, it's less than 1 million people. Yes, I said yes.
And that's what makes it exciting, right? Because it's not a large population, the production is going to be significant. With just that forced well, we'll be actually producing almost twice as much as Trinidad with just one well. And then in another 3 years, the second vessel was just approved.
Okay.
That one is going to be producing nearly 240,000 barrels. So within another 3 years, we'll be at nearly 400,000 barrels, and I think with the third, fourth, fifth FPSO, we'll start exceeding 1 million barrels per day.
I'm getting goosebumps you saying that. It's insane.
It's going to be transformative, So we have to make sure that we up-level our skills, because it's the human element, right? Because if the money's there and we don't decide to invest it the right way, we're going to be still suffering from what we've been suffering with for a long time.
I'm listening to you, and you said two key things. One is the human resource.
Yeah.
Yes, oil, yes, this or that, but the human resource, you, the people, we, the people, are the most prized resource of Guyana.
Yeah. And we've been exporting Guyanese for decades. We've exported you, right? So we need to bring you back.
Yes, you're going to have to re-import me.
Imagine if Guyana was getting a fee for every Guyanese exported. We would have been rich by now.
Yes. Yes, there's more Guyanese living out of Guyana than inside. But you know what? I don't think the level of education and the openness is there, and the mindset. So I personally benefit from leaving and then coming back in. So I bring new things to the table.
And I've been all over the world. I've never met a Guyanese that hasn't done well for themselves outside of Guyana.
Right.
That just speaks to the resourcefulness and the ingenuity. So kudos to Guyanese. I'm looking forward to the day when we can do a lot of that in Guyana. And maybe it's a good thing, right? Because with so many people having gone out, developed themselves, it might even give us a shorter route in terms of plugging it back into Guyana and accelerating
of course. That's where the magic is.
That's what we need to do.
Because the experts are like, what are you guys going to do? And actually, we're going to recall back all of our exports.
The reason I live in Guyana, and maybe you might not like to hear that, but I love being able to not have to worry about the snow.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you every day.
And the travel as well. When you are in Guyana, it's, everything is not that far away. It's easy to get to where you need to get to. The food is good. The food is fresh. So.
But you have migrated to Guyana, right?
My dad was born in Guyana. Actually, I'm one of the few Guyanese who can say that I live in the street where my father was born. But my family is originally from Stabroek.
Okay.
My grandmom, that side of the family came to the quarantine. On this side of the quarantine, the other side came to the Kaieteur side of the quarantine, and then it's been back and forth. So I'm Guyanese by descent. My wife, my daughter, they're Guyanese as well. But I heard this thing recently, which I hope I can copyright it, because a lot of people who are born in Guyana, I feel like Guyana was born in me.
Okay,
right?
yes. So the best way to copyright that is do an issue, write it in there, and it's printed material.
It's Guyana born in you.
Yes.
But I love being here. I love the excitement that's going on, and just the potential. You know, we've spoken about potential in Guyana for so long. We're actually at the stage right now where we can unlock and develop this potential. So we have to make sure that for the next 5, 10 years we make full use of this opportunity.
Amazing. And one thing you also mentioned is being smart what we do with the oil money now, and you said agriculture's, we're gonna have to eat.
Yeah.
The world's gonna have to eat, and we should stay focused on building the other sectors, even the other mining sectors, bauxite, gold.
I think, you know, definitely we need to take care of our healthcare so that we can have a population that is in a better physical condition as well.
Right.
Our education system, we're still operating with the education system that's, you know, several decades old. We need to modernize that. In terms of sustainable investments, we need to get our port dredged as well so that we can have much larger vessels coming in. It will bring down the cost of doing business. And I think probably one of the biggest things that we could do is finally, you know, have a highway to Brazil, because Brazil, especially that northern state, really needs access to the Atlantic in a shorter way. And in that way, we can actually make quite a lot of income by providing services to that to that route. And that is a non-extracting sector, because the oil will finish one day, the gold will finish one day, the bauxite will finish. So we really need to convert our economy to one that can derive its income from services.
Right.
And so there are many places where we can wisely invest the income, and the income, you know, 90% of the income from oil and gas is going to go directly to the government. Just about 10% is going to be spent directly with the private sector. So we need to be very wise about how we do this, and also to make sure that we save some for future generations, or at least invested that future generations can benefit from this.
Of course, infrastructure is very
Or else
important.
our grandkids are going to say, well, these two guys used up all the money and there's nothing left, you know?
Yes, we survived without it, and we should be able to manage it, and so it can last, and maybe be this little hope that Guyana needed over its 50 years of actually on a downturn.
Yeah, and you know, the Guyanese who are in Guyana, you know, I'd strongly recommend that you, even male, female, even if you are not at 60 yet, go look at what the sectors are. If you need advice on that, grab a copy of the Who's Who, or just reach out. Start developing the skills. You know, anybody who's still in school, I know when you were younger, I know when I was younger, the three things that your parents, especially if you're from Borbies, right, grow up to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a bank teller, right? In Borbies, people actually think that.
No, you know how 100% this is so true? My uncle, my mom's brother, he has 4 kids. He said, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be working at the bank. And it happened. I have cousins of the lawyer, doctor,
and the thing is,
accountant. That
was positioned so much in our minds because 20, 30, 40 years ago, doctors and lawyers, because our public system was so weak, when they operate privately, they were able to earn a lot of income. That is going to keep dropping because we produce so many doctors and lawyers every year. And you know, in one case, you're dealing with a lot of sick people. On the other case, you might be dealing with criminals.
Right.
So I don't see the real attractiveness to that.
Right. So I was just in a high school in Canada speaking to the students about entrepreneurship. I said, but nobody told us that doctors and lawyers are entrepreneurs. They are. They could be, They have their own office, a private practice. They're basically entrepreneurs. They have their own employee. And so the magic is in being an entrepreneur. Not being able to really deliver something that the public system doesn't, because you know the governments do have a responsibility to provide good medical and legal care. So as income goes up, it will be easier for them to provide it themselves. So I think being an entrepreneur, especially in the business side of things, there are many business families in Guyana that because they encourage their kids to become doctors and lawyers, and when they leave, they don't go back into the business. And they sometimes know this business so well, because they grew up in it and they know it really well, but because they're not trained as a doctor or lawyer and not in the business skill, those businesses die. And these are the type of businesses that the earnings from that business are multiples of what they could earn as a doctor or a lawyer. So please, if you're in business, don't make that mistake. Make sure if your kids are exposed to the business, they like it, let them study that specific field. They could move it several levels up from where you could have brought it to. But make sure you get the education that's really gonna
help you move to the next level, because we're moving away from this heavy dependence on, the work that you have to do with your entire body to making, your head, your brain actually work for you, and then being part of the knowledge industry, right? And you're part of the knowledge industry now. It's the
I've traded in the forks and the tools.
right? And it's your
I
brain
can do
can
more,
last you a
help
lot
more,
longer.
earn more.
Definitely, and that's where the power is.
Yeah, and something you just said about growing up. Well, I had the privilege, and you travel a lot. This same principle is for the whole world.
Yeah.
Almost Indian kids or African kids, they were told.
Yeah.
Most
These are
immigrant, doctor, lawyer, or engineer.
Yeah, there are other options out there, people. So
Yes.
when I did my studies in Singapore and in Brazil, there in those countries, entrepreneurship is a very real option right up front. So
Wow.
you start learning that from the primary school. In our countries, sometimes that's the dropout subject. You couldn't do anything else.
Yes. So you start a business.
Yeah, no, that's we have quite a ways to go, and it's exciting times, and you can really connect well with those outside. Anybody looking into Guyana, it's probably the timing is just about right now.
Amazing. I want to take this time to thank you and congratulate you, because you are now Dr. Vishnu.
Yes. That was one of my goals, to get that
Yes.
before I hit 40.
And you earned a Ph.D.
In management, so I specialize in entrepreneurship.
Phenomenal. So if you're an entrepreneur, who better to learn from Dr. Vishnu? And I'm sure you're probably going to have some partnership with a university where now you're coaching students and they actually get credit from working with you at some point in time.
I lecture on I've been lecturing for 6 years on various MBA programs with Nations, Bedfordshire, AIB, University of the West Indies, now Texila as well.
Oh, phenomenal.
So I think my number is probably already over 1,000 of people that I've been able to lecture at the MBA level. So I look forward as well for Guyana being that place that allows them to exercise the skills that they have been provided with right now, because that could have also been a reason why people either leave or why we have a low level of production, because the right people might not be in the right places. So it's a lot of fun. It's me being able to do the things that I really wanted to do in life, and now my whole goal is impacting as many people as I can.
Empowering and inspiring.
Life might seem long, but it's really, really short. So with the years that I have remaining, I want to make sure that as many people as possible get impacted by what it could mean to be able to deliver at a different level and have a better life, right? Because that's what we all want. We all want a much better life for ourselves and for our families.
Amazing. Thank you for your time, Vishnu.
Great.
And I look forward to collaborating with you on
looking forward to seeing you in Guyana, and then for us to do something in Guyana.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.